I am back with one of the finest young coaches around here. I already know what I'm going to give him for Christmas or his birthday. I'm going to give him a double bottle of Pepto-Bismol because he needs it. Let me just say this, with 13 seconds remaining in regulation, South Gibson senior Gavin Crawford drove the lane and laid the ball up to give the Hornets a 1-point victory over Crockett County on a moved-up one-night game. And Michael Odom, thank you for that. But a great description, right, Drew?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it went down. We had a timeout. We drew something up that we'd actually tried to run earlier in the game and not really had a lot of success with it. We kind of came back to it, trying to get Gavin a paint touch and then play out of it. And he made a big shot there at the end. So proud of him, but that's rearview mirror now. So we're moving on. We need to focus on tonight's game. But yes, sir. I've got to say this before some folks get the wrong idea. Just because you say you drew it up then, you redrew it up because that's – I know you well enough. Yeah. You've run that in practice X number of times, and all we do is refresh our players, right? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much – it's stuff that we go a lot of 5-on-0 set execution stuff and then run it live and see how it looks, see what we need to tweak. But drew it up for them again, and this time the guys executed it really well. Gavin made a big shot. So yeah, he really did. Now let's go to this game. District contest against a team that, one, you don't ever know who's going to start for them. There's only a couple of guys. It's like Dyersburg's girls team. You got at least 2 to 3 spots. It could be any of those. They've got some good talent. They haven't been together as much as I'm sure Coach McCord. The one thing we know they're going to play is tooth and toenail. Yeah. So really talented team. I don't think that their record reflects what they really do well. I don't think their record reflects that roster by any means. And honestly, when we were at their place, we shot the ball really well. We played a really complete game, but we also gave up 63 points. So we score 82, but we give up 63, and 63 points. That's going to get you beat in most games. So here at our house, we're South Gibson like. Hey, and so that's I want to say things happen. They are a good team. They can score in bunches, but we got to have a better defensive performance tonight because it's not every day, not every game that you hit 16 threes, and that gives you a pretty good cushion when you're shooting the ball at that level. So we got to be locked in defensively because they got a good 5 to 7 guys that can really, really hurt you in different ways. Absolutely. And they're going to play defense. Coach McCord, his kids always, doesn't matter whether it's girls or boys, they play with intensity. The same intensity like we play with intensity. Yeah, no, they're going to come out. They're going to apply pressure, whether that's full court pressure, they're in 2-2-1, full court stuff, or whether they're even sitting in the half court, they're going to be extended, trying to pressure the ball, trying to impact the ball on the perimeter. And so we just, we got to play smart. We got to make reads, see what the defense is giving us, and whether they're in zone or whether they decide to play us man, we've got to be focused on getting paint touches and playing inside out. Okay, through the dribble, through the pass, post touches. We want to play inside out as much as we can. And it makes it a little more difficult when you got a 6'7" kid anchoring the middle of a 2-3 zone. That makes it a little more difficult to attack the rim. So we got to be selective. We got to be smart with how we attack tonight. Oh, absolutely. And it seems like our schedule, we've had 6'8", 6'6". We've had to play against 6'9". I say he was 6'9". His roster said 6'8". Okay, got to ask this about our team. Sure. It looks like, and this is the way you want them to play, you want them intense all the time, but when you score, intensity goes up, doesn't it? It's just natural, man. When your shot's going in, when you see the ball go through the net, it's a lot easier to play defense. But, in my opinion, if you're only playing defense whenever your shot's going, that's a characteristic of a weak player. So, part of that has been us realizing that, when do you really need to stop? Is it when your shot's going in every possession or every other possession, or is it when your shot's not going in? Okay, now the stops are critical. Because when you're not shooting your best and what you do well isn't going well, that's the question. If what I'm doing well isn't going well, what else can I do that's going to impact winning? And a lot of those things are going to be on the defensive end. So that's been messaging throughout the years. Hey, we can't be here when our shot's going in, and then when it's not, we're a completely different person on the defensive end.
Amen.
So that's –
defense must be the one constant in basketball.
Absolutely.
And now, what are some keys to victory? We know the rebounding is, but we can't just block out tonight. We got to go get it.
Very much so. So, got to have 5 guys to the glass. Everybody box it out, and then we got to collectively guard the post. I think Coach McCord does a really good job. I expect him to try to feature their big man, and so we don't, even though Cade Beaver does a tremendous job and he plays a lot bigger than he is, we don't want to leave him out on an island to defend somebody a foot taller than him, right? So making sure that we're locked in our help, we're locked in guarding the post, and then another outside of rebounding and limiting those post opportunities, we have to get back in defensive transition. Number 2 hurt us in the first game in transition. And then number 12, all-district MVP from last year, from what I understand, he didn't play the first game. So we got a point guard coming out that's hungry, that we haven't seen yet, that we know can score in bunches, and he's really impactful in transition. So we got to get back, get loaded, get matched up.
On offense, we know, obviously, everybody, you got to keep your turnovers down. That's an old cliche. How important is spacing tonight, and when they do get in the zone, filling the gaps in the short corner and things like that?
Really important. Getting the ball, making sure we have the way to collapse any zones is to get the ball in the middle. So you can do that multiple ways, whether we're screening the top of the zone and getting in there with the dribble, whether we're manipulating it with the pass fake and then getting in there off the bounce, or whether we're just hitting some high post stuff and playing inside out. Staying spaced, guys being on the perimeter, being shot ready. When that ball goes in, if I'm not shot ready on the perimeter, it's kind of a wasted touch if we kick out and we're not ready to let it fly. So want them playing loose, want them playing confident, but also want them playing disciplined at the same time.
Coach, we got about a minute before we have to change back to Alex.
Sure. What's
the message tonight to the team and the Hornet Nation?
Man, the team is the same messaging. It's to stay poised. It's kind of been our word of the year because when you play a sport like this where there might be 80-plus possessions in a game, things are going to go bad. Very few games you just get to have an easy walk through the whole game. So how do we respond when there's adversity? And then the Hornet Nation, man, we're trying to make it 6 in a row. We appreciate your support. Appreciate you showing up here tonight. We're going to try to go get one for you.
Absolutely, and we want that victory tonight. Good job, Drew. Great. Our kids are great. Your coaching staff's doing great, and I can't wait for this one. We got a slobber knocker coming tonight.
It's going to be a dogfight for sure.
Okay, there he is, one of the finest young coaches. If you want to learn something, if he'll let you in the gym, he's one of the best teaching coaches around, too. You can learn a whole lot from him.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Drew. We're going to get Alex back over here and get ready for second half action with the Lady Hornets carrying a 38-14 lead. And Drew is always so educational. I love talking to him. And Alex, it's